You want me to be your mom? You want me to be your friend? You want me to be your punching bag?
I have a few more cards up my sleeve.
It's really you.
Good Lord. I convinced myself you were living with some nice family somewhere.
You know, they say dance like no one is watching. Well, I say do good like no one is watching.
We are sacrificing a lot around here, if you haven't noticed.
It's a little hard to say how much she's influenced me because it's harder to say how she hasn't. I think she brings a combination of boldness and analysis to her characters and to the work she does. She really thinks carefully and hard about what she's doing. She's also very, very funny, and she has a great emotional depth and great ease of access to her emotional life.
There is no one more loyal than Jerry. How's your morale?
Great. We're very happy.
You might just as well say Jerry.
Congratulations.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It won't be Jerry, but Jerry's fine.
Thank you very much.
Jerry is on the paperwork as a stopgap, but even she'd be the first to admit that she couldn't really do the job.
Well, maybe the second to admit. Do we say it's something and we'll fix it, or it's nothing and fuck off? I can't actually, in this nation yet, sadly, halt the publication of a book. Shit before the shovel. Roman, could you please put your footwear on? See, for this to work, we need, boundaries.
It's your wedding. Why do I feel like I'm about to get fucked?
For a woman to be that high up in a big, huge corporation like that the big achievement is just maintaining where she is. Like staying where she is her MO.
I decided to co-lead my own giving circle with the States Project after I met Melissa Walker.
In 2023, her Giving Circle worked with us in Virginia to defend the state Senate and flip the House of Delegates.
When you talk about every bit of structural and legal inequity in this country, whether it's right to healthcare, including reproductive healthcare, pay equity, opportunity across the board, states and state legislatures have so much influence. Her willingness to dig beneath the surface, really become an expert in a difficult and arcane area, has a meaningful, profound impact on the laws that impact women's equity and equity more broadly across the board.
I'm so proud of you, Jay, and I love you so much, and I'm so thrilled for you and for everybody who gets to work with you, admire you, be with you, be friends with you, be related to you, especially me.
So tonight, it is my honor to bring up J. Smith Cameron. We have watched her, but tonight, we are honoring you for all the work we watched that you didn't know we were watching you do.
This is heavy. You want me to hold it while you speak?
Sure. Y'all sit down. Tonight has made me cry over and over again. The company I am in tonight, the other honorees are really honorable. I'm just a cheap Broadway ham, I do think, however, there are two versions of being an entertainer. There's the ones there's the versions that go to awards shows and are photographed and go to parties and wear fashion and all that stuff. But there's also the storytellers, as they were just saying in the tape, that that it's actually kind of a humanitarian thing to be an actor, to walk in someone else's shoes and to help an audience feel for a character, even if they're not that admirable or they're not that great. For instance, Jerry is kind of a rat, but you do pull for her because she's in a man's world and sticking it out, and it's very rough there. I feel very teary tonight. This is so impressive. This is so beautiful. Kenny was saying I should talk about my mom, and I will a little bit, although the connection is maybe not obvious to everyone else. But so my mom was born and raised in Scranton, PA, Her parents were poor Italian immigrants. She only spoke Italian at home. She said, low-class Italian, because it was like a dialect, not what you learn in school. And she finally left home, and she didn't go to college. She met my dad. He was from the South. He brought her down to the South. She had kids. She would get little part-time jobs to help us make ends meet. And then in the 70s, she got a job working for Head Start. And her whole idea of working for a living and then having also be meaningful, this profound kind of change washed over her. And then down the line, after I'd gone off to college and she'd officially my dad had kind of retired, she started working in a library, in the children's branch of the library, because she always loved the little children. She didn't have a college degree, so she couldn't be a librarian, but she could shelve books and she could do story time. And she eventually created this whole program where they raised funds, and they did this whole outreach program where she would go out into the sticks in the Carolinas and read books to these little kids, and she would realize that the parents would come close, that they were illiterate, and they were liking the stories as much as the little kids were. And we'd go to the supermarket, out in the sticks, and people would just be running up to her, Miss Mary, Miss Mary. She was like a local celebrity. And I realized tonight that she was a maker, right? I mean, that's how it starts. That's how it goes. And my special guest this evening is my darling niece, Eliza Smith, who it was her first granddaughter, and she loved and raised practically, along with my sister, of course. And Eliza is now this young woman, very poised and determined, making her way. In a way, I was never that confident in my 20s, and I'm full of admiration for you, Eliza. So Eliza's with us tonight. So before 2016, I was never particularly a political person, really. I voted, and I would occasionally sign a petition or something like that, But then I remember when Brexit happened. I was in England, and it was such a weird feeling of, wait, how could that happen? What happened? And then there was that whole crazy election here in our country, right? And now we're facing another even crazier election, and we got to do something. So it dawned on me, since around 2017, everyone now has to be political, whether that's their comfort zone or not. In whatever way they can, in whatever way is meaningful that they can. So I met Melissa Walker, the lady on the tape, a few years back, and she introduced me to this program called the States Project. And the way it has a kind of unique fundraising model, it raises money for state elections. And you just get together in rooms and talk and explain the concept, because a lot of people aren't very familiar with state politics. They're at a loss to tell you who their state senator is. It's very easy to happen because the big federal elections are the big sexy ones we all give money to and see the commercials on TV and watch in the news. But so many things happen on the state level. Abortion bans, voting rights, particularly important right now, gun regulation, you name it, education. It goes on, and it happens on a state level, which so many people are unaware of. And so the really exciting thing about the States Project is that you can actually be just a bunch of women in a room trying to raise some money and make a real difference. It's concrete, it's doable, it doesn't cost that much to finance a state campaign. It's these elections are won by these small margins, so it's incredibly exciting to see your candidate win by 400 votes or something like that. So I'll be around tomorrow too, and if anyone is interested in hearing more about the States Project, I'd love to talk to you about it. Just come find me or leave me a message at the hotel desk, okay? And again, thank you so much, so much.